All right, so welcome, guys. Thank you for the intro again. My name is Ashley Garth, founder of Garth Media. Just a little bit more about me. I am truly an entrepreneur advocate. Like, I was the first in my family to do this on my own and not work for somebody else. So first things first, they thought that I was crazy. They were like, "What are you doing? You don't want to mess up your 401k. You don't want to get uncomfortable." But I've never been satisfied in a comfortable spot in my life. So I actually was in sales for a while, doing something that was comfortable with insurance. And I had left marketing to do that. But what I realized is that that is not where my heart lies. So I really am so passionate about helping other entrepreneurs to achieve a success on social media. So coming from insurance, that being not that's not the most sexy topic. You can clear a room talking about insurance, but I was able on social media to really stand out amongst a industry that, like I said, is very unsexy, and to build a brand for myself. So what I realized is that if I can do this for insurance, I can surely do this for others. So as a millennial, you guys know that we grew up on social media. I've always been the social media girl. So I just figured that I could use my gift and my knowledge to help others. So we started in 2018, and now I have scaled to build a team. I have a team of graphic designers, copywriters, photographers, videographers, and anything that you need related to creating content. We have someone in place that can assist you. And I'll share all of my information at the end. So I know everybody wants to know, how do you build engagement on social media? If you walk around, everybody's face is glued to their phone. So if I say this all the time, if you're not participating, then you're really missing the mark, and you're missing a lot of leads and income that can be generated. So let's go ahead and dive in. I want us to really learn how you can build an audience and to transfer them into buyers. Because one of the things that happens is that a lot of us get caught up in just posting things that don't have a strategy behind it, just posting to say that we're on social media. So we're really going to dive into some of those techniques. The first thing that I want to share is that it is crucial for you to tell some type of story related to your brand. So my story, like I shared at the beginning of this presentation, I'm an entrepreneur advocate. I wanted to build something for myself. So as you can guess, a lot of my target clients are entrepreneurs as well. I can relate to them by sharing content tips, different strategies that they can use to grow their brand. Because even though we're just 2 years, a lot of those things that I had to go through are still fresh on my mind. So I can be a resource for them in real time and to help them on the way. So your story may not be similar to mine, but whatever that is, you need to find a way to really capture the attention and the trust of your audience. So that's number one. You always want to have some type of storytelling involved in your content. And the next thing is your target audience. So you can't really know what platform to tell your story on, and you can't really know what target audience is really your target audience before you really dive into that. So we want to find out who and where is your target audience. Um, One of the things that we want to look at is the difference between Instagram, Facebook, and my favorite, LinkedIn. So let's talk about IG. I love IG. It is all about the influencer marketing. So that's where you see I was going to say women, but it's men as well. A lot of influencers taking pictures of their food, of their clothes, whatever brand they are advocates for. You're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of people generating an income on Instagram as well. Because the cool thing is, once you become basically a walking billboard on Instagram, different brands will basically want to leverage your platform. And if your followers are their target audience, you could essentially get a lot of free merchandise, or you could actually get paid per shout out. So that is the breakdown of Instagram. And it also includes a lot of high quality photos. So if you want to build the engagement on Instagram, You don't want to post a lot of graphics and infographics. The algorithm hates that. So you want to go along with the algorithm, and we'll talk about that as well, so that your content can again be revealed to more people. So let's dive into Facebook. This is an older demographic, 30 to 65 years old. Now, the infographics and the graphics that I discussed that you don't want to add to IG, the Facebook algorithm likes that. So when you think about a new company that you want to learn more about, I know I always check the Facebook reviews and then I check their Instagram. So you want to make sure that this older demographic and people that really want to get educated about products and services and don't care so much about a pretty photo, that's where they're going. So that's going to be a platform for that older demographic and people that want to get educated. And LinkedIn, my favorite. So if I had to describe LinkedIn, it is basically a high level professional version of Instagram. So the algorithm is pretty similar. The age is pretty similar. The big difference is you're going to have more of the decision makers and the high dollar clients on that platform. So they're not going to be the ones that are scrolling all day because they don't have time. These are the people that are usually there early in the morning. They're checking their feed before their day gets going, and you want to be able to get to the point. And those are the people that are going to perform on LinkedIn. They are established and they're busy. Now, I don't know. I want to switch back. I can't see if there are any questions, but I'm going to switch back and check. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Not only, so we talked about those engagement techniques, and guys, there are other platforms like Pinterest, and we know Clubhouse is coming as well. So there are going to be a lot of different engagement techniques for the newer platforms that are coming. But for the most part, and also including Twitter for more of the political topics, these are your main three platforms. So let's move on to the first impression. So after you know exactly who your target audience is, you want to continue to build engagement. The first thing that comes first, you have to make sure that that engagement and that follower will fit. So the first thing that they're going to look at is your bio. And you got to put yourself in their shoes. How many business profiles have you looked at where all of the information wasn't clear? It kind of put a bad taste in your mouth and you continue to scroll. So you want to make sure that your bio is clear, that they understand exactly what you're offering. I hate it when I go to people's bio and it's just, I still don't understand what they do. So just make it clear and make sure that you are attracting the right type of follower. You also want to make sure that your graphics and your content that you're sharing is something that your followers would have an interest in reading about. So if I'm targeting entrepreneurs, I know that they want to learn more about how do I maintain a healthy mind when I have so many things going on. What are some self-care tips for entrepreneurs? What are some outsourcing ideas for entrepreneurs? So you want to think about the tips and hacks that you're sharing. Your website. I've been turned off by a lot of people that do not have a clear and concise website similar to their bio. So you want to make sure that that is clear as well. And then also your reputation. We talked about on Facebook that reviews are a major part of the puzzle. You want to make sure that you've done all that you can to get positive reviews and maybe be proactive and get more reviews on your profile. So let's keep going. Let's talk about what you guys are here for, some actual engagement techniques. So here's a great stat for you. On Facebook, 68% are Facebook users. So I know that it might be an older crowd, but most people are on this platform one way or the other. Whether it's just checking reviews, whether it's looking at videos or stories, they are here. So some of the engagement techniques for Facebook, similar to LinkedIn, these are working people that are older, so they're posting earlier in the morning. I've been testing this out with my clients and myself, and I've noticed that there's a sweet spot between 7:30 and 8:30. And if you think about it, that's when people are drinking their coffee, walking their dogs before work, doing all these things before their day really gets started. You also want to make use of your story. If you follow me on any platform, I am very active in my stories. And I almost feel like I have my own TV show. That is really what keeps my algorithm going and strong. And I get so many really warm leads that reach out to me from my story. So you want to be proactive and stay active. You also want to ask questions to build engagement. You don't always just want to talk and share tips. You want to ask questions. So since I do target entrepreneurs, I could ask, hey, what has been your biggest takeaway for 2020? That's a question that I'm sure I would get. I might actually post that after this presentation. That's something that's going to get people to really talk and engage. And remember, the more comments and likes and shares that you have under your post, the algorithm is basically going to reward you and push it up to the top of the timeline so more people can see it. Another thing is you want to make use of the group. Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups are just a hidden gem. You're going to get more attention in these groups because these people are in a group for a specific purpose. So if you can find a group that covers a topic that your followers and your target audience are interested in, that's where you want to be. Another thing that I see a lot is that a lot of people don't have a call to action, abbreviated CTA. You want to make sure that you're actually telling your audience to do something, telling your followers to do something. Why? Because of the algorithm. So the more that they like, the more that they share, the more clicks that they have on your post, then again, the algorithm is going to reveal that post to more people. You will also want to upload more video content. Video, 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 video. If you don't hear anything else on this presentation, you need to share more videos. The algorithm absolutely loves that. And I know sometimes it's like, what do I post? What do I share? Something that I would suggest related to videos is to create all your content for the entire month, maybe in one or a few days, so that you're not overwhelmed by having to create all of this content. You can also outsource and partner with people that can assist you with this. And the last thing for Facebook is to leverage your advocates. I know a lot of us, we have the same people that support us on our profiles. It's nothing wrong with shooting a few people a text and saying, hey, I have a launch of a new product coming out. When I share it tomorrow at 5 o'clock, would you mind resharing it on your page? So don't be afraid to ask. I'm going to switch over and see if anybody has any questions. Okay, switching back. Instagram. 50 million people use Instagram stories each day. I love my Instagram stories. I have so much fun because there's so many things that you can do in your Instagram stories. And one of those things is make use of all of the stickers and all of the gifs and the polls that you can use. Why? Because it's a call to action. People are clicking on things. So again, it's like it's waking up the algorithm and they're revealing that to more of your followers. Creating reels. That is one of the features that Instagram has created to compete with TikTok. So it's a 15-second video that can be added to your stories as well as your timeline, and you can make edits and do cool things with that. So it's almost like they're going to make these rules, and if you follow the rules, they're going to reward you. That's how you play the game. Another thing is people think that I'm crazy, but I make use of all 30 hashtag options. I want to target every single person related to my post. So how do the hashtags work? And it works the same way on LinkedIn and all the other platforms. So you want to find hashtags that your target audience would search for. So I'm going to use myself as an example again. Targeting entrepreneurs, they buy my social media services. Small business owners. So some of my hashtags are going to be entrepreneur life, hustle, startup, small business owners. Those are things that they're going to search for. Business tips. So you want to be strategic and use the right hashtag. Write longer captions. I know sometimes that can be consuming, but if you plan it out and you have a strategy on the front end, you're not going to be sitting thinking about what type of caption should I add for each post. So that's another thing that the algorithm really appreciates. You also want to keep up with what's trending, because what's trending is what people are searching for. So you want to make sure that you are popping up in those searches. Tagging users and brands. So think about this. Whenever you post, have you ever seen when there's a million people have tagged a million brands and a million people on their one post, and you're like, why are they doing this? So one, they are tagging those people because they're going to get a notification for it, but they're also leveraging their followers. So if I'm tagging people and they have a good amount of following, they're going to share it to their followers share it to their followers, and it continues. And the last few things that I have is you want to share beautiful and quality photos. So right now I've got my ring light. I want it to be as bright as possible in this room. It just looks better. It looks more professional. You want to do the same thing. So you need to invest in the tools. And this ring light was $30 on Instagram. I'm also recording myself so I can use this content later. So I've got a stand, and I have all the tools ready so that I can perform and it's not taking up my time to create this content. So you want to be mindful of that. And the last thing is you want to invest in ads. And you can do that on your timeline as well as your stories. I've generated a lot of leads specifically in my Instagram stories. So just play around with that, and you want to use video. So if you share a video on Instagram, you actually have an option within that story to boost that post. And I have boosted Instagram stories for Garth Media for maybe, I'm just throwing a number out there, just little small things, $60. And I've landed clients just off of $60 ads through my Instagram story. So I want you guys to be mindful of this. I know this is a lot. I'm going to continue to go to LinkedIn, and then we're going to talk about a few analytics. Let me switch over here to see if I've missed anything. Okay, Deshauna Turner, what is the best way to come up with content for a full month? Is there specific posts for specific days? So yes. So this is similar to what we do for our clients. We schedule out their content for the entire month, but in order for you to do that, you have to have a strategy first. So once you piece in who your target is, what are some hot trending topics that they want to hear, and you have your strategy. And let me be clear, when I say strategy, I'm meaning week one, post one, week one, post two. Everything lined out so that you can get a bird's eye view of what all of the content ideas look like and how they flow. And then once you create your strategy, you're going to have to post that for a number of days for the algorithm to really judge when the best day of posting is for your target. So believe it or not, everybody's following has a different pattern, obviously. So as you post more, that's the only way that the algorithm can really test your content. I would suggest doing that for at least 30 days. So that's enough time. And then after that 30 days, check and see, because there's a setting on all of your platforms that shows you when your followers are on and actually even what time they're on. I hope that answers your question. Okay, I'm going to keep going, and we're going to talk about LinkedIn. So this is very crucial. 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn drive business decisions. So let me just paraphrase this. This is where the money is. Okay? This is where the money is. These are the people that are making the decisions. A lot of times I find that when I go through Instagram or Facebook, I have to weed through so many people to get to the person that can actually pay the invoice. So these are the people that can pay the invoice. Again, we want to post early in the morning. We want to make sure that our personal profiles are clear. We want to make sure that our bio is clear, because these are the people that don't have time, and most of the time you have one shot to make that first impression. You also want to turn your viewers into followers. So you can change, and I added this, you can change your default call to action button on your profile to follow instead of connect. Please hear me when I say this. You want to make sure that it says follow versus connect. Okay? Another cool feature on LinkedIn is that you can get recommendations. These decision makers, they love to check that. They want to see what other people think about you. This is another form of the reviews and recommendations that people do on Facebook. Articles. Feeling creative? You have some copywriters on hand, or if you're a writer yourself, if you can share some articles and blogs, LinkedIn has a built-in feature where you can do this on your own. And when you publish your article, it's going to notify your followers. So that's a hidden gem that a lot of people don't make use of on LinkedIn. Hashtags. Just like on IG, hashtags are trending on LinkedIn, and the algorithm loves it when you use those targeted hashtags under your post. You also have, like on Facebook, groups. So there are groups, many hubs of people who have similar interests who you can interact with. And then you can also invest in ads on LinkedIn as well. Okay, we have another question. 7 more minutes, and that was 2 minutes ago, so I have 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna come to that question last. I'm gonna keep going, okay, guys? So how do you know if this is working? After you've done all this, how do you know? You need to track your analytics by tracking your engagement ratio. So you want to make sure that at least a minimum of 3% of your total followers are listening to what you have to say. So here's a formula for this. It's your engagement rate is going to equal your likes, your average likes and comments per post. So let's say for each post, I get about 300 likes and 50 comments. So that is 350. So I'm going to take 350 and I'm going to divide that by the amount of my total followers. And then I'm going to multiply that by 100 to get that ratio. So what is this saying? If you're creating all of this beautiful content and that engagement rate is pretty low, you want to tweak things and make sure that your content is appealing. And the last thing that I have are 30 techniques for engagement, and I'm going to go through these quickly and answer your question. So one of the things that I have is to post at least 5 to 7 times a week. We already talked about the hashtag, tagging your brand. Figure out when your followers are online and post during those high engagement times. Post in your stories. Use the gift option and the sticker option in your stories. We talked about creating the reels. We talked about creating the polls in your stories. You want to create savable content. So if you're creating a post from your timeline, if they share that to their story from your timeline, what is going to be on that graphic? You want to make sure that all of your content that's important is on your graphic versus your caption. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense. You want to promote ads. You also want to reply to your DMs. And I'm guessing I could send this presentation because I do want to open the floor to questions. So I'll let this be my gift to you guys, and I'll send this to Erica so she can get this to you so you can see these. But I'll just end with saying, I hate it when I see all of this great content and the engagement happening on people's timelines and they don't respond to the comments. They don't respond to the direct messages. So if you're going to put in the work on the front end, you want to make sure that you're able to get them to the closing table by actually being there and being engaged with them. So I am going to stop sharing, switch back over. All right, so now I can see your question. So let's see where we left off. I got to Ms. Turner's question. Got it. Okay, Ms. Simmons, how many times should we post and repost a piece of blog content? Say I create a blog post in the morning. How many times should I post it tomorrow or the following day? So this is when you kind of have to engage. How do your followers respond to that? 1 minute, I got it. So you wanna, I would say to share, if you have a campaign, so that's why it's important to create a strategy. I would say people need to be things at least for 30 days. I don't like it when I see people that want to do these quick launches and they told people about it at a short time. You want to make sure that you have time to really, it's all about repetition. You have a lot of things happening on social media. So you want to be proactive and repeat yourself over and over. I hope that that makes sense. Any other questions? I probably have 20 seconds, maybe. Woo, that was a workout. How many times should I post in one day? I've had great success posting every day, so once a day. That's really at your discretion, but I would say no more than 3 times a day. It depends on what you have going on. So if you have a product launch, you want or an event, you want to post multiple times a day, and I would say that number would be 3. Thank you, Judith. Okay, I'm just gonna stay here and smile. And Erica, if I need to exit, let me know. You're welcome, Miss Turner. Oh, where can you find me? Okay, I love saying this. Let me get my last 15 seconds. I am Googleable. So if you Google Ashley Garth, you can find me anywhere. But you can reach out to me on my website. It is, let me type that here, www.gogarthmedia.com. And you can find all of my contact information. You can set up a discovery call from my website. And again, my entire team will be happy to assist you guys and get your social media popping. Okay. I'm so glad you found some value in this. You are so welcome. And the last thing that I'm going to do, since I'm here and nobody's told me to do anything, I'm going to add the link for my discovery call. If you want to set up a consultation, you can also do that there. And this discovery call is just if you want to learn more about our services and our team, I can walk you in depth about our social media services, which is our core, and we'll be happy to help. We also help with email campaigns. If you just want a strategy, we can assist you with that as well. Okay. Thank you guys again. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And again, my team and I will be happy to assist. Enjoy the rest of the event. Hey, Brittany. Yeah, you missed it. It literally just ended. I'm sure it's recorded, and I recorded it, so I'm going to share it on my page again anyway. All right, well, I'm going to leave. Have a good day, everybody.